I'm alive!
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Homewrecker podcast. I am the Golden Greek, Alex Arion, joined as always by my beautiful, lovely, gorgeous wife, Monique. Hi.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Yeah.
Sure. Yes. Gravy.
Yeah.
What's going on? What's new with you? We got hopefully an exciting show.
Yes.
Well, not hopefully. It will be exciting.
Will be.
I don't know why I said hopefully. That was ridiculous.
We have a
Sorry
very special
that.
guest. I do, before we get into everything, just want to let people know I'm doing a group past life regression hypnotherapy session on Thursday, July 30th at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. If you want to sign up, I have an early bird for $33. You can get in on this, and you just go to innerstandingshypnosis.com and click on the group hypnotherapy tab. And if you can't make it, but you still want to participate, I will send you the recording. So you're good on either end, whether you go or not. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Very cool. Are you ready for one of my favorite parts of the show?
Yes.
You are?
I think so. Now you're making me second guess.
It's time to ask Monique. Okay, so I'm going to ask Monique a question that was also asked to the woman with the world's highest recorded IQ. And we're going to compare their answers. Are you ready?
Let's do it.
Okay. Dear Monique, if you were asked to name one fault common to all members of the human race, what would it be?
We let our feelings and emotions get the best of us.
That's your answer?
Yeah.
All right.
I think the simplest put one. What did she say?
That was a simple answer, but not as simple as the answer of the world's
We're human.
smartest or highest recorded IQ. She answered wishful thinking.
Oh.
There you have it.
Alrighty then.
So what do we have in store for everybody today?
We have our new friend, Sam the SkyGuy. I met Sam through our friends at the Curious Cat podcast and recent guests, Jesse and Jen, and he's on Substack. That's a new platform we've been on recently, and we've been having a lot of fun with it. So if you're not on Substack, get on it. It's a great place to go. It's different than other social media places, but he's an astrologer, and he'll put information out that makes learning astrology more digestible. So when I get so confused with astrology, I know a little bit, but when I watch his videos, I'm like, oh, that makes more sense now. So he's really good at that. So we're going to have him on. He did our charts. He's going to tell us some information about us, I guess. But it should be really fun. We hope you enjoy this episode with Sam.
I'm nervous and excited at the same time. I wonder what we're going to find out about ourselves.
We'll find out.
Yowza. Well, here we go with our special guest,
Sam the SkyGuy. Hey, Sam, thank you so much for joining us today. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for joining us. So for those listening, we did a Substack Live with Sam last night from when we're recording, and it was so much fun. Our friend Jesse from the Curious Cat podcast was there too. We hit so many topics, but you gotta go on Substack if you want to hear it.
There you go.
Yeah.
It was a good time.
Right.
So thank you so much for hosting that.
Oh, it was our pleasure. We've been just having a great time with that, and just it's like I don't know what to call it. Maybe like Howard Stern meets Wizards or something.
I love it.
I get to play, like the Tony Clifton of magic. I'm making a reference here.
I love it. That's
Yeah.
great.
and when my wife isn't nudging me and saying, "Don't say that," I say that.
Alex does that to me sometimes.
But I'm glad to be here, not in character,
Yeah.
to talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Well, we recorded the intro before we started, and one of the things I mentioned that I really appreciate about you and what you put out on Substack is you explain everything in a sense, like for astrology, in a sense of it's digestible, because I get some stuff, but I struggle grasping a lot of it. It to me, it's a lot. It's complicated, and the way you break it down in your videos, oh, okay, it's starting to make sense. These little bits and just how you explain things and the metaphors and everything, it makes it easier. So I appreciate that, because when you have something so big like astrology, you have, so on our screen right now, we're on Zoom, and you have our charts pulled up, and I look at that like it's a wheel with symbols, and they mean things, and there's so many. And I even have an app that goes over everything, trying to remember what means what, and it's so overwhelming. So when you got into astrology, did you feel it was overwhelming, but you wanted to get into it, or did you just pick it up right away?
Well, I mean, I started when I was a kid, I think. Honestly, my mom would take me to the mall, and I would say, "Yeah, you can just drop me off at the bookstore, go shop. As long as I have 20 bucks for pizza and video games in like 3 hours, I'm gonna just hang out here." So I'd go through Walden Books and all those B. Dalton little mall shops,
Yeah.
walk through I guess what was the magic aisle then, the metaphysical. I'm not sure what they called it back then, but I know all they had the books on magic. And this is going back to like middle school. I was drawn to this stuff. I have no idea why. I felt compelled by it, like there's something important here. Of course, as a kid, it's very concrete and almost like a movie. Like, oh, I'm going to find out something special, and I'm going to be special. I mean, you could go through all this stuff as a kid, right? But the symbols, the ideas, the meanings, they just call to me, and somehow I felt like I would find myself in that. That was honestly that was the pull, and it just very slowly accumulated over time in a very haphazard, non-linear, non-formal way. I'd pick up a book, learn about sun signs, because that was all the rage back then in the 80s, 70s. A lot of what I do as an astrologer is demote the sun somewhat. Not to say the sun's unimportant, but everyone's like, well, my sign, right? And you guys have this idea of my sign, and I even had this idea of my sign. But we're all signs. All of us are every sign, just in different proportions and different concentrations. And so it's important to have that perspective when you're looking at it. So yes, starting with just sun signs is pretty easy, but it's also kind of superficial and like, well, this could be true for anybody. That's because that's what was published. It was very easy to do that, as opposed to selling a book on your whole chart. That's freaking complicated, like you said. So to answer your question, it started very early, and in a very organic sort of way. It just developed over time, and I left it. I came back to it. I studied tarot. I studied Western magic, came back to astrology because you need that for Western magic and tarot. And then it just, all of a sudden, it just boom, exploded into this thing. I finally just got it after years and years and years of, I guess, rolling around in the mud with it.
That's awesome,
Yeah,
because
that's awesome.
I feel like a lot of people get pulled to things when they're younger, but society, everything around us, the environment, so to speak, can pull us out easily. So I love that you were drawn to it, but you kept with it, you kept learning, and then you had your kind of, aha moment of it. I get it now. That is so neat.
I love that. Like when you said you would get dropped off by your mom, you'd always go to the bookstores. Because I used to do the exact same thing when I was young. We'd go shopping. I'd say, I'm going to be in the bookstore. And that's where I'd be. I'd just wait there. And my mom would come get me when she was done everything. So when you said that, like, wow, yes, I used to do the exact same thing. It's an
iconic experience. It's hard to explain to kids now what, like, that absolute joy of just being left alone to do whatever you wanted.
There's freedom.
Even being left home. I'd be left home. My parents would go shopping. I'd stay home and I'd watch like vampire movies on Saturday because they had those goofy, like really cheesy, like B-rated movies, like on Channel 11 or whatever, Pix, whatever it was. And even like that was such a simple pleasure.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Simpler times, better times.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I do have a question, because what you were saying before made me think of a video you recently put out on Substack, and you were talking about Jupiter leaving Cancer. And something you mentioned that I found really interesting, but I wanted to make sure I comprehended it properly, was you were saying, like, depending on when you're born, like if you're born during the day, like when the sun has risen, then you're more compatible with it sounded like you're more compatible with your sun sign. But if you're born when the moon is out, you might be more compatible with the moon. Is that what you were saying, or did I miscomprehend it?
No, that's like close.
Okay.
So let me just say also about astrology. When I say I got it for me.
Yeah.
Exactly how you were saying that this stuff is very individual, and just because it works for me like this doesn't mean it won't work for you like that. Now, there is an astrology that's behind this intellectual paywall of all these ancient texts and, sources going back to Babylonian times, right? Babylon, Egypt, Greece, the Arabian Empire, the Muslim Empire, and then into the Renaissance, right? So we've got like thousands of years of history and all these different ideas, and people maybe think that there's this monolithic astrology thing that's official. I mean, depends on who you ask. And then you have modern astrologers that kind of wanted to get away from that. You have evolutionary astrologers, and you have people talking about octaves and resonances and planetary fields. So you have to find your own astrology, is what I'm going to say. Now, having said that, let me come back and answer your question. If you're born after sunrise and before sunset, you have what's called a diurnal or daytime chart. So it's called a solar chart because the sun is above the horizon. So the sun becomes your primary luminary. There's two luminaries in astrology, the sun and the moon, right? So the sun is a source of light, but the moon is also technically a source of light at night, right? And if you really want to know what that's like, go somewhere without light pollution during a full moon, and then see what that's really like, seeing a full moon in pure black. And it's like, oh my God, how would you survive without the moon? I did this in upstate New York once. It was winter, snow on the ground in the woods with my friend, full moon. And it was like the world was lit up in ways I couldn't even imagine.
Oh, for sure. Where we live, we're in the woods, and you can see all the stars. And especially in the winter when there's snow and a full moon, it's bright.
Yeah.
I mean, the light illuminates from the snow, and it's gorgeous. But there will be nights I'm driving and it's a full moon, and I'm like, whew, I can see better. Because when it's a new moon and it's so dark, you can't see anything. Like the roads we have, it's just covered with trees that just kind of almost do a tunnel anyway. So
and we don't have street lights.
No street lights, nothing.
Where we're at.
And they block out the sun, right? So it's like, I mean, I've been to mountain towns in New Hampshire, and it's like in August, it was 60 degrees. And like, how do people live like this?
That's warm. That's comfortable.
Right. So anyway, if you're born before sunrise, so when the sun is below the horizon, you have a nocturnal chart, and the moon is your primary luminary. So depends on the astrologer how to interpret that. In some way, for a day chart, the sun is stronger than the moon, and that brings other planets into the sun's alliance. So it's even further complicated by this idea of planetary sect. All right. Jupiter and Saturn are day planets. They, quote unquote, like to be in the sun, in the daylight. Mars and Venus are night planets. They like to be at night, in the nighttime, under the horizon or during the night. So if you have a night chart, if you have a lunar chart, like you do, Monique, your sect planets are Venus and Mars. And depending on Mercury, this gets really tricky because Mercury switches gender, switches alliance, depending on where Mercury is. So let me take a step back from that because that's getting way into the weeds way too quickly. But this idea of sun and moon and planetary alliance and sect is really what's being activated by the idea of a nocturnal chart versus a diurnal daytime chart. Sun-aligned planets versus moon-aligned planets.
And I've never heard anyone discuss that before.
Yeah, I've never heard that before either.
Like when I heard you talking about that, I loved it, and it just resonated with me. I was like, I feel like this makes more sense because, again, it's so big when you look at astrology. And what feels right and fits for some might not for others. And somebody can say something and I'll be like, oh, that doesn't really feel right. But like when you were saying that, I just like, yeah, that feels good. There was something about it that really resonated with me, which is why I wanted to bring it up. And you mentioned Jupiter, and I just want, like, it's because you see my chart. So ever since I was younger, I've loved the number 24. That's been my number. Like,
Okay.
it's just, and then I realized the symbol for Jupiter is like a 2 and a 4. And I thought that was so weird. And I've always thought like I've been very fortunate in life, very lucky with things. And the more I learned about Jupiter, it was like, yeah, I feel like that's my planet. Like, that's my buddy. And then I realized the symbol for it. I was like, oh, wow, that's got to be like a sign of something. So having looked at my chart, did you see anything in there that would make that make sense? Or are you like, no, that's just something that is with you?
No, that makes a lot of sense.
Okay.
Yeah, and we're gonna get into why, but it's a bit technical, but I'm gonna try to be as. It's not hard to understand. It's just if you're not used to thinking about things like this, it gets kind of like, oh my God. But really, it's a language. I want to come back to it's a symbol set, it's a language like Tarot, but it's a little bit more, I think, fleshed out and specific than Tarot is. Tarot is more like a symbol map that you can interpret and then go with your intuition. Not that you can't with astrology. It's just that there's so much more detail in an astrological chart. There's just too much information to even cover in one reading. So you're going to have to see astrologers multiple times or different astrologers to kind of dig deeper. Ancient astrology was about predicting, like, let's figure out what's going to happen when, and then, get ahead of it or be able to like know what's going to happen so we can be safe or we can win wars and stuff like that. Also magic, how to call the planets, how to ask them for favors, how to make amulets and talismans and, all that kind of stuff. So that's timing. So it's a kind of time magic.
Yeah.
Anyway, to answer your question, yes, Jupiter is important to you.
I'm so excited. And like you're talking about like the amulets and the time magic. I'm like, this is like resonating with me. Like I'm getting excited.
Yeah, I'm
And
just
what's going to
like,
make this conversation extra fun is your charts together are like, wow.
oh, all right.
Okay, so because you already know the chart,
excited.
so I want to share something with you, and I'll share with the listeners that I thought was really cool because doing hypnotherapy, doing things like past life regression, doing things with each other with hypnotherapy and learning things, I discovered Alex and I have been connected with our souls for a very, very, very long time. And our good friend Leslie Fear with the Because I Want to Know podcast, and she's a friend of Curious Cat and Jennifer Holtz, she came on our show before, and she had mentioned how Alex came to this life because I asked him to.
Fascinating.
And because he was reluctant. I'm the one who's always like, yeah, let's go do something and ready to jump in. He's not. But Leslie, because her mom communicates with her, and our mom was the one who said, yeah. And because of our son, our oldest, who I had from a previous marriage, but Alex became his dad. He and Declan on a soul level are connected, but he came here to be, with me because I asked him, and I thought that was the coolest thing. So when you're saying that, I'm so curious to see how that lines up.
Okay, well, full disclosure,
Yeah.
I don't specialize or claim to know about past lives or future lives. I'm kind of agnostic. I take an agnostic position when it comes to that. And by agnostic, I don't mean I don't know, so I don't care. I mean, it's impossible for me to know. So that's kind of where I'm at.
And I respect that.
I do think that we're born with stuff. And again, we talked about time collapsing last night.
Yeah.
Does time even exist? So from the position that time doesn't really exist as we think it does, then what does a past or future life really mean?
Yes. It's just
Okay.
some words that we use to better
Right.
explain.
I mean, our brains are, so far as we can say, they seem to be wired to experience time in one direction, in cause and effect, and that's about survival of the animal body. Okay? What that means as far as time, capital T, goes, I have no idea. And I posit that it's impossible to know in the way that we like to know facts. Now, you can believe in past lives, you cannot. Some sects of Buddhism believe in past lives and future lives. Zen doesn't even talk about past lives, doesn't like talking about past lives and future lives. It's right here, right now. This is it. Eternity is here. If you're not getting enlightened here, you're not enlightened. And the answer is no, you are enlightened. So just sit down and shut up. That's the Zen attitude. So you're already enlightened, sit down.
I
All
like
right.
it.
So that's so it depends on who you ask, depends
Yeah.
on who's looking at it, and again, the individual variation. So, having said that, what would you like me to look at next?
Why don't you just tell us what you discovered?
Okay. So, you guys aren't astro twins, but you have the same chart. And I'll explain what I mean by that.
Okay.
You see, you have both, I have Alex's on the left and yours, Monique, on the right. You see
Okay.
that?
Yeah.
Okay. So you both are born when Scorpio was on the horizon rising. So Scorpio rising is your ascendant. In a whole house system, you don't have to worry about that. In a whole house system that I'm going to use, every other house lines up the same way. So in effect, you guys have the same blueprint, the same architectural blueprint. Scorpio, Scorpio, second house Sagittarius, Sagittarius, third house Capricorn, third house Capricorn, all the way around. So it's like imagine two houses built from the same specs,
Interesting.
identical houses, identical rooms, identical layout. That's what you guys are in this life. What's different is, well, Monique, you think that the light in this room should be green. Alex says, no, we don't need lights in that room at all. This room is more important. All right. So that's the kind of idea that you have different planets going on in different areas of the same type of house. Okay. Did you want to say something about that?
No, it's just I love it. It's so cool. And it's true.
Talking about sun and moon. Now, Monique, you have a nocturnal lunar chart. So you were born before sunrise. The moon is your primary light. So I'm going to say that the moon is this liminal light. It's this semi-light. It's fleeting, quick glimpses, fluctuations, resonance with the intuition, the inner body, the emotion body, the sense of nurture that comes, the kind of maternal energy, very strong, right? That's like your light. That's what's obvious to you.
Yeah.
Alex is a solar chart. Your sun is your primary luminary, and also the most of your planets are also aligned that way too. So Monique, most of your planets are under the horizon, with the exception of your 12th house. We're going to get into that. Alex, most of your planets are above the horizon. So Monique, you have a much more introverted sort of chart. Most of your energy goes to this, like the private, under the horizon, self, money, home, resources, personal pleasures, enjoyments, the like the daily grind. Alex, you have a much more public personality, at least according to the chart. Now let me take a step back and say the chart is like a strange attractor. It's supposed to predict or promise what will over time tend to go in these directions. Doesn't mean you can't steer the wheel differently. Or, and this is what makes it squirrely and bullshit to some people. Like, well, if you can change it, then it's not. Well, nothing is like you're locked in.
Yeah.
Nothing is like that. It's just this was the pattern that you're born with. What you do with it, you know.
Yeah.
But the tendencies should be kind of obvious. So far, so good.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Let me just go through the houses really quick.
Okay.
Sure.
First house is me. So both of you, Scorpio, fixed water. Second house is mine, possessions, assets, resources. That's Sagittarius, where your sun is Monique. Okay. And third house is Capricorn. That is immediate surroundings, siblings, communication, short distance travel, and like very immediate community. All right. Like neighborhood, let's say. Fourth house is dad, traditionally, the parental lineage, which goes through dad, and your idea of home. Both of you have that in Aquarius. Now, we're not talking about the analogy of home before, but your actual house
Yeah.
and the idea of parental lineage. Okay, that's Aquarius for both of you. Fifth house, Pisces, is personal enjoyments, pleasures, sex, drugs, rock and roll, and all the consequences, i.e., kids. Again, you share the same house, Pisces. Aries, sixth house, that's injuries, illnesses, accidents, drudgery, client-facing work, like the people that look up to you, depend on you, not kids, but like direct reports and pets. So things where you have a power differential and they are beholden to you. In ancient terminology, that was like a servant, let's say, right? Or like your livestock. Maybe that could be second house too, but never mind that. Seventh house is the other person, the complement. So whoever is 180 degrees away from you is your natural complement. So your spouse, your long-term partners, and your open enemies and rivals, whoever's sitting across from you in a negotiation or in a lawsuit. But it's also your spouse, okay? Go figure.
Okay.
Eighth house, Gemini, death, resources, estates, other people's stuff. Ninth house, public facing religion, long distance travel, public spirituality. 10th house, career, your place of public prominence, what you're known for. 11th house, alliances, close friends. And 12th house is the house of what's called the house of odium. That's the house of the bad spirit. Sorry. So the 12th house is like where you're undone. The first house is where you're formed when you come into life, Scorpio. The last house, the 12th house, Libra, is the house of forced seclusion, like monastery, cloistered kind of experiences where you're undone and where you really experience the end of a current cycle and do the work to prepare the next one. It's not the beginning of the next cycle. That's the first house. The 12th house is the very bitter end of it and like being forced into that position. Okay.
Okay.
That was a lot. But the good news is you guys have the same arrangement, okay, of the houses. Now, the question is, where are the planets in these houses and what are they doing to you, right? Or what are
Yeah.
they saying to you? Let's go to Alex because, okay, so Alex, like I said, a lot of your stuff is above the horizon. So you have Mars, Jupiter, and the moon in Cancer. That's your ninth house. Let me put the mouse up here. That's long distance travel, public facing religion, higher spirituality, and so forth. You've got a sovereign planet, the moon ruling Cancer. So the moon is very strong in Cancer. Okay.
Okay.
Mars is what's called fallen or depressed in Cancer. And Mars is extra troublesome there because Mars is in a day chart and Mars is not happy by daylight. And so he's in a sign that he would rule at night, but it's not nighttime. And he's in a sign where he's depressed or fallen, meaning he's kind of like recovering. Let's say, like, think of like a beat up sailor who's at a tiki bar, just kind of recovering from war trauma. All right. That's
Okay.
like the kind of a kind of archetypal sort of energy of Mars. But that's not identical to who you are. That's just like an analogy of what that energy might represent.
Okay.
So Mars is kind of troublesome there. The problem or the good thing there, right, is that Jupiter is in a tight conjunction with Mars, and Jupiter is exalted in Cancer. So whatever trouble Mars might cause you in this sphere, Jupiter is there leading and saying, "No, I'm in charge here with the moon, and we are like we're bosses." Mars is way in the back of the line in terms of what he can do. In this position, right? So you're leading with generosity, with kindness, with care, with expansiveness, with the moon there, very nurturing, loving energy. And this is like a spiritual calling for you in a very public place. So I might think of someone like this as like a Boy Scout leader, for example, a very kind, gentle, sort of like the most caring, nurturing masculinity you can think of, right? Would be here in this public place, leading with generosity, kindness, open-heartedness, forgiveness, and all of that, with like traditionally maternal qualities, but let's call them nurturing qualities. But I want to almost channel Mr. T and say, I pity the fool who takes that for weakness and gets past all of that and pulls Mars out of his cave. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, you're hitting the nail on the head with his at least with his personality and how he is, because he is so kind and caring. Like, I know I'm biased, but he's so wonderful. But don't fuck with him
Yeah.
because he'll be there for you if you fuck him over. If it's like that's it. And it's not like a hatred or anything. It's just like, nope, done. And it's
And
just like very like, that's it.
no, it's once Mars is activated in that position, he's deadly. And I'll tell you why. On top of that, Mars rules Scorpio, your rising sign, Alex. So Mars is in what's called a trine with your ascendant. Okay, so your rising sign by the angle of where the sign was when you were born is Scorpio. Mars rules Scorpio. Mars sees his helm where he would like to drive the car of your life Mars sees that position from Cancer. All right. So if somebody does fuck with you, you very easily you can turn that on and push that out into the world. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that sounds pretty accurate.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. So and again, I'm not saying that you have this like characterological flaw. What I'm saying is that the energy is there, the potential's there. And again, I feel sorry for whoever pulls that out of you.
And it takes a lot for him to get like that.
It does take a
It
lot.
takes so much because he's like,
Yeah.
let it go. It's okay. I'm the one that'll get fired up about stuff. And he's like, let it go.
What Scorpio wants to do is Scorpio is I'm going to focus on Scorpio a lot because
Okay.
both of you are like intensely Scorpio because of this rising sign. You especially, Moni, because you have a bunch of stuff going on there, unlike Alex. All right. So let me come back to the idea of Scorpio fixed water. So Cancer comes in really gushy and caring and maternal. Cancer is the Aries warrior energy, but like manifested as water, as this kind of nurturing sort of force. And you know, our country, America, is a Cancerian nation. And I said that on my video.
Yeah.
So if you want to think about Cancer being soft and emotional, no, I mean, give me your, you know, give us your, you're hungry, you're poor, you're all of that, and then we will fuck you up.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is also Cancer. Cancer can be very aggressive, but for all that, Cancer is maternal and it's nurturing. Okay, keep that in mind. Scorpio comes along and says, "Well, great, love is wonderful, but how are we going to protect it?" And the Scorpion has, like Cancer, this hard outer shell, but it also has deadly defenses, right? The Scorpion doesn't want to go out and kill you, but if you mess with it, it will kill you and it will strike to kill. It won't strike to play. So the thing with Scorpio is that it just waits and waits and waits and waits. And when it has the shot, it's the kill shot. The memory is long, the patience is infinite, and nothing they just don't nothing gets by them. So that energy is like, I see you but you don't see me. I know there's shit under the surface that you don't want me to know, and I'm going to find out about it. And it's like a boss sign. It really is associated to sex, death, rebirth, and the mystery of how all that's connected. So Scorpio is keenly aware of anger, of sex, of all the murky stuff that's bubbling under the surface, and wants to keep that all under wraps, under this shiny, placid, calm surface. But again, still waters run very deep, and the reaction is can be really intense. I'm going to add one more thing.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Once this turns on, I can't stop.
No, please.
No, this is awesome.
I'm so into this right now. Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, you're welcome. The road to trust with Scorpio is long and hard. Now, I'm not saying you guys are like mob, people. I'm just going to use an analogy, but it's like very pleasant, calm on the surface, chill seeming. Everything is cool. And it's like you don't really like, put your heart on your sleeve. You don't show all your cards. The road to trust is really long, but once you're in, it's like mob rules. It's like now they know where the bodies are. And God help you if you betray me.
So I'll tell you how that hits hard because 100% Alex, but I'm a little more different. I'll wear my heart on my sleeve to an extent, not everything.
I'll tell you why, but go ahead.
I'll give you most, but not everything. And I'm very like, I don't trust a lot of people. Alex, I tell everything to, right? My immediate family. Everyone else, I'm like, I'll trust you, but not with everything. Because there's always that, I haven't gotten the, it's okay. You know what I mean? So it's funny. Alex is a little more like, I don't trust anybody. And I'm like, yeah, I'll tell you how I'm feeling. I'll tell you what's going on, but not everything. So yeah, I leave stuff under the surface. It was funny you said that.
Now you can argue that everyone's like that.
Yeah.
I don't think so because I know how I am, and I'm not like that. Okay, at least I'm not like that in that position. So this scorpionic energy that I described is how you to just instinctively engage the world. It's something that you might not have been aware of when you're younger, whereas you might experience your moon or sun sign very directly, right? Or your Mercury very directly. We'll talk about that. but your ascendant is what other people see most prominently. Let's talk about you, Monique.
Okay.
Unless, Alex, you have any questions?
No, I'm just like, wow.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, this is awesome.
Cool.
So wherever this is going is great. I'm all in.
I'm
So,
thinking, like, dude, I need to just hire you for my life.
hey, free tune-ups forever.
All right.
I give good deals, I'm telling you. So, Monique, with you, again, I don't have to go through Scorpio again. So all of everything I said about Alex more or less applies to you in terms of your ascendant. Your ascendant is like the helm, the steering wheel, how you want to drive your life. You can think of it as a filter, not a mask. Some people say the rising sign is a mask. It's not hiding who you are. No, it is who you are and how you engage the world. It's how you drive your car. So it's your car and it's also how you drive it. The road trip you're on is the sun and moon, maybe more so the sun in some cases. But the driver is Scorpio and the car is Scorpio. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. You have Venus in Scorpio. Now, Venus in Scorpio is considered to be in exile. So I said how Mars in Cancer is fall or depression. Okay, so the next level down from there is exile or detriment. Again, doesn't mean bad.
Yeah.
The ancients thought it was very bad, but I think of it as there's a quality of the planet that's really uncanny now. The planet is forced to do stuff in a way that it's not comfortable with. So Venus rules Taurus, the sign opposite to both of you, right? Taurus is also fixed, so it's stable like Scorpio, but Scorpio is sex and death and the murk and the secrets and like the intrigue and the darkness, right? Taurus is spring, light, enjoyment, sensual pleasure, life thriving in the spring, stubbornness, just like Scorpio, but also like, not wanting to move, not interested in decomposition and the secret mystery of rebirth. And it's like, fuck that. Show me something to build, give me something to hold and touch, and give me good, really nice stuff. Comfort, pleasure, enjoyment, life, and a really hearty sort of endurance. That's Taurus. And Scorpio is like the decay of all of that, or the appreciation of the decay of all of that. Think of those qualities, right? So you have the ruler of that Taurian energy in the opposite sign of Scorpio. Now think about the Seven of Cups. Think about how that's like, it's like something that's like, it's like almost an illusion of pleasure. I'm not sure if you read it that way, but when I think of the Seven of Cups, I'm seeing all these amazing glittery things presented to someone, and they have all these all these choices that seem awesome in there. And so they had there's like in the weight card, there's death, there's life, there's a woman, there's riches, there's a dragon, there's jewels, right? So and the person's like, oh my God,
Yeah.
overwhelmed, right? So that's Venus in Scorpio. It's everything that glitters is gold. That's what Venus is saying in Scorpio. It's Venus in Scorpio is saying just pleasure, enjoyment, all the sensuality of Taurus brought and married to this idea of sex and libido and stuff. So it's like kind of, she is from an ancient perspective, like not womanly there because that's not appropriate. But we don't live in those times, do we? No. It just means that Venus is is pulled into a place where she has to deal with the dark side of all that. Right now, I don't know
Yeah.
what that means to you or should mean to you, but one thing that you said really stands out is that you wear your heart on your sleeve to a point.
Yeah.
That's Venus kind of uncomfortable in Scorpio and doing what she does, which is put forth love and harmony and grace and peace, and then pulled back somewhat from Scorpio, right?
Makes
Pulled
sense.
back like, no, that's not safe. Like, or I shouldn't do that. Or maybe that was something that when you were younger was a challenge. And then you learn to dial it back. I'm not judging. I'm just saying.
100%.
Yeah. Okay.
100%.
Again, you can argue this is true for everybody. I don't know. I don't think so. We're all different. And I see different configurations with different personalities. What else does Venus in Scorpio do? Well, Venus being the seventh house ruler. Let's go here. Venus, I said, rules Taurus, right? Seventh house is your opposites, your complements, your spouse. And so literally, Venus pulls that person into you. So now you said something about you brought Alex into this life. Okay. I'm not saying that this means that, but there is a magnetic quality to you Now, Scorpio is magnetic to begin with,
Mm-hmm.
almost hypnotic, I want to say. Oh, I just thought of that, hypnosis.
Mm.
But again, think about so three symbols for Scorpio, like a serpent or a
Mm-hmm.
snake, the scorpion, and then depending on who you ask, either an eagle or a phoenix. I say eagle. Phoenix is too fiery for
Mm.
Scorpio, but you can
Yeah.
say Mars is fiery, so whatever. Think about a snake just like hypnotized, like staring at its prey, not moving, and then striking to kill, right? But in this case, Scorpio is pulling Taurus into herself
Mm-hmm.
with Venus there because Venus rules the opposite sign here. And so whoever your spouse is destined to be gets pulled into your very self by Venus.
So it's my fault you're here. I
It's kind
pulled
of deep.
you.
I'm not trying to be naughty, but I think you guys are experiencing a sort of intimacy that other people might not experience like the way you do. Now, again, that's subjective. I wouldn't know how to really measure that, but this kind of connection is deeply intimate as I read it.
We are just, as Alex put it, he's like, I trust Monique implicitly. And I
Hmm.
feel the same way with Alex. We work on our telepathy.
Hmm.
Who was thinking that first? Reading each other's minds.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
are just,
Yeah, like I'll tell you about, was it 12 years ago? I had to have neck surgery, and and I've had a couple of surgeries since we've been together. Anytime I come out of like a heavy anesthesia,
Yeah.
the first thing that I say when I open my eyes and there's like a nurse or a doctor or somebody, is my wife around? Where's my wife?
Yeah.
Like that's always the first thing on my mind. So yeah, we're very like close. I mean,
I miss him if he's doing something in another room for too long.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah. So, it's amazing. I mean, you get something like, but again, not every couple has that, right? So, and I'm just for the record, I'm not like a couple astrologer. I
Hmm.
don't do synastry. I don't,
mhm.
practice that. But looking at this chart, I mean, yeah, you guys are very, very close, very aligned. You might have different ideas about what goes where, but it's the same house, like I was saying. Alex, I want to say, so your Venus is in the 10th house. So Venus is, wait, let me just finish with Monique for a bit.
Okay.
Sure.
So Venus, another challenge with Venus being in Scorpio from Taurus, opposite to Scorpio, is that there is a kind of a boundary issue where Scorpio loves boundaries, loves that shell, that hard outer shiny reflective shell. However, with Venus pulling opposites in, there is a sense that that boundary is compromised, again, to the discomfort of Scorpio and maybe yourself. But again, I give a lot more, but not everything.
I used to be
So, but you
really,
also take a lot more than you would want as well.
yeah, I used to be really bad with boundaries. I'd let
Hmm.
people cross them all the time
Hmm.
because I felt pressured to. I'd feel bad. I felt like I
Hmm.
owed something, and it got me in a lot of trouble. And it took a long time to finally be like, nope. Even to the point of now, I was telling Alex how I think I come off like a bitch sometimes because I'm just, like I said to him, I'm done caring about people who pretend to care about me.
Hmm.
And I'm done trying to placate to people to make them feel better when there's no reason to do that for them.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to set firmer boundaries
Yeah.
because I am so like nurturing and I want to help and I want to give people the benefit of the doubt.
Yep.
But I've realized after so long that the only one who gets hurt is me.
And it's a challenge with Venus in any so in anyone's chart where Venus is, they might have a similar sort of people pleasing or I want to be graceful all the time
Mm-hmm.
and loving and caring. But depending on the sign, depending on the chart, that's either a blessing or it's a challenge.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing I want to say that these planets aren't good or bad. I call them celestials, but in my own life I call them celestials. But when I'm doing work like this, I call them planets because I'm
Mm-hmm.
not thinking about a ball of dust and gas out there.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about an actual entity of sorts, an almost neutral entity, and they are not balanced in and of themselves. Their alchemy together is the balance
Mm-hmm.
or the
Okay.
attempted balance.
Yeah.
And I don't fully understand it. I'm so whoever says they do, I'm like, yeah, sure. Okay. Alex, let me go to your Venus
Okay.
since we're, talking about. So Venus attracts, Mars attacks. Alex, your Venus is in a public place, is in your 10th house up here in Leo, in a pretty tight alignment with your midhaven, which is what you're going to be known for, what your place of public prominence, your overall aim in life. And so Venus, this traditionally feminine force of grace, beauty, and harmony, is in a masculine sign, fire, fixed fire. Think about like the emperor, the ruler, the king, the sun. The sun rules Leo. You got Venus there. So if your public persona was known for grace, elegance, and beauty in this masculine sort of leader kind of energy, that's one reason. Generally, though, what that means is that when you are taking a leadership position in a public situation, you do bring atypically graceful, beautiful energy to that. And if your wrestling character, for example, were known as someone who was like this Adonis, I mean, you called yourself the Golden Greek, right?
Yeah.
So if there was this element of like something beautiful or like almost like a Greek statue to that character, that would kind of explain that as well. So that's the type of energy, and it kind of works with your history. But I want to give you the basic building blocks of it because that's not the only place where it would apply. It
Okay.
just seems that whatever you do publicly in a leadership position is going to be very graceful, atypically graceful
Okay.
for Leo. So you won't be this hard boss, this harsh ruler, this tyrant. You're going to be very graceful and charming and magnanimous and more about like, okay, adore me sort of energy, right? That's where your boundaries might get compromised.
Okay.
Where like the trick of how do I be a strong leader and not compromise that strength for wanting to be liked?
Gotcha. Okay.
That's like the kind of trick there to think about.
Okay.
It's a lot of
This is
information.
I was
We
going to say,
haven't even
man,
done-
how
we
do you
haven't
even
done the whole thing?
how do you even remember all this? This is amazing.
Thank you. Well, it's been decades.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, but then
Yeah.
again, if you've been
Right.
studying this stuff for as long as you have, but it's
It's so
amazing.
impressive.
But
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it was just so haphazard, and it's just like this channel just turned on, and this stuff started talking to me. Sometimes literally. Sometimes I'll look at a chart and I'll just get so overwhelmed that I just burst out into tears. I can't help it. It's like, what the hell happened to me? Like, I'm not supposed to be crying. Still crying in astrology.
You had me tearing up when you first said like how we're like, not like the twins, but like how we're kind of the same in the connection. And I was
Yeah,
like,
same
yeah,
boat.
because like it's like a lot of what you're saying, I feel so deeply inside it hits.
Awesome.
And I'm thinking about how incredible you are at what you do. And I'm
I
just so
appreciate that.
happy for you that you have that.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I think it's so wonderful because
I love to share
you're
it.
wonderful.
Thank you so much. I love to share it because it's not mine. You know what I'm saying? If in some sense it's not mine. So you say write a book. I could write a book, and then it's like becomes this codified thing that's not alive anymore. And this stuff is all out there. It's free. It's available. Like anyone can learn this. Just spend time with it. If it wants to talk to you, it will. And maybe astrology is not everyone's thing. Maybe your thing is supposed to be runes or birds or cards or dragons. I don't know. Right? I might not know. It seems to be mine. Anyway,
That's awesome.
It works with you.
Yeah. Thank you. You had a question about Jupiter, right?
Yeah.
Alex, you have any questions that you want me to go into? Because I want to try to be fair to,
No, I'm just wherever this goes.
Yeah.
I'm trying to like remember as you're telling me, and I'm gonna go back and listen to this probably 10 or 15 times.
Yeah,
take notes and stuff because this is just really interesting.
It is.
I'm trying to learn.
You're making it fun.
Yeah.
So Alex, your sun sign is Virgo. You're
Oh, I thought I was a Libra.
Yeah.
I'm not a Libra.
weren't you born
September.
Well done.
Did I just mess up everything that you already
No.
said?
No, all that does is change your sun sign.
Okay.
Isn't that crazy?
Wow.
Yeah, look at the chart. Right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, I just updated it. Same thing. Scorpio. Scorpio. Yeah, everything's the same. Except
Wow.
your sun now is in Libra. Your Mars and Jupiter are still in the ninth house.
Wow.
Like literally nothing changed except for the sun.
How crazy is that?
You have the same thing. Mars in Cancer, Jupiter in Cancer, Scorpio ascendant, working with Mars, as I said before. You are a day baby. The sun is your primary luminary. Venus is the questionable part. So we'll correct that to say Venus is in Virgo. And so all the beauty stuff doesn't really apply the way it did. So that part was wrong.
Okay.
If it felt off, that's why I apologize.
That's
that
crazy.
was-
It's the same.
Yeah, that is.
Venus still ends up in a public place. It's just more about your friends and close allies, really, really close friends and allies.
That makes more sense.
It's still public, with you being graceful and charming and all that.
That makes more sense.
Whereas now we have Leo is a different quality with Saturn there by himself. Saturn is someone that is very restricting, is very much about delays. So if there's been delays and restrictions in career, that's Saturn. If it's like Saturn is the very slow bake, very slow boil, but eventually pays off over time. So Saturn, but for you, Saturn in a day chart is more helpful than Mars actually. So Saturn is one of the big bad ones. But he's in a day chart, so he's better than he would have been in a night chart.
Okay.
That said, Saturn is still sobriety, restriction, very slow to happen. So like setbacks or slow and delay in careers, maybe even like a frustration because Leo doesn't like Saturn there necessarily. Saturn's not quite characterized in that position. I'm using the Egyptian decans. And so in that position, Saturn is just kind of slowing Leo down somewhat, or maybe creating more restriction and sobriety than Leo would want. Leo at that position wants like the last oomph to hold on to what it has. Saturn is just like slowing that down, is pulling that back. And so that speaks more to restrictions about career. I'm very sorry about the dates. I hope I didn't,
No.
No.
Don't be
break
sorry.
anything. But
I feel everything happens for a reason.
okay, that's cool for me. I don't mind. I'm not perfect. I'm not omniscient, obviously.
None of us are.
But you still have Venus in a public place, except it's no longer in career so much as it is with friends. And Venus in Virgo in that position is much more practical about things, about solving problems, about having facts and details, and being a problem solver. Okay.
That makes a lot of sense
Yeah.
for me.
Well,
Yeah.
when you were saying the career, I was like, I feel like the friends, the people we know from his career in wrestling, kind of, they respect him. They all have nothing but good things to say about him. So I was like, well, it's the people he, from the wrestling career, you could say the people who know him from career. But then, like, once you said, like, well, no, it's like your friends, the people who know you, it really, that aligned.
Okay. So then it probably wasn't landing when I was talking about Venus and Leo.
It was just like, I was like, well, kind of, but
It's off.
askew.
It was a little off, but it was like, okay, maybe I could see, but
It
then-
was
Right.
slightly askew, but it's
I had
still,
the date wrong.
yeah.
That makes
was a
sense.
good mistake. That demonstrates how you have to read the chart correctly. You have to have the correct time to look. So that was good. That was a good mistake. I like it because it demonstrates that okay, now we have the correct time, and now Venus and Virgo makes more sense with friends and close allies.
Yeah.
Mercury's there. Mercury in Virgo is sovereign, the way the moon is sovereign in Cancer. Your moon sign did change, by the way, but that doesn't change Jupiter or Mars. But with Mercury in Virgo, you're talking about the ultimate ability to analyze, very intelligent, expressive communication, fact details, all around nerdiness, spreadsheets. Somebody might come and tell you a story and you'll say, well, no, actually that person wasn't doing that. And this wasn't happening, was actually over there. And no, the tree is actually 10 foot, not 20 foot.
That's
what are
so
you talking
me.
about? Okay.
Or
So-
that professional wrestler didn't wrestle that match and that day on that year.
It's like no one's gonna mess with you on baseball card facts and stats and figures. Like that stuff is. I mean, you're just naturally a stickler about it without trying to be mean or anything.
Yeah.
It's just no. You got to have your facts straight. Right?
Yeah,
That's the energy. Okay.
that's awesome.
What happens with with interesting. What happens with the moon in Aries now? You have your moon sign, which is your ninth house ruler. We talked about Cancer now in Aries, and it's in a square with Mars. So now this, what I said before, is wrong because about the moon. You still have a solar chart, but your moon sign is now in conflict with Mars. So your moon sees her home of Cancer up here, but she is being resisted by Mars, who's in this fallen place, like I talked about. Don't get past your kindness and weakness and generosity because then that comes out. Now, in Aries, the moon gets temperamental, gets like too fast, too agitated, too rapid, almost like the sensory, the bodily experience of stuff gets really intensified, maybe more so than is comfortable. And with Mars there squaring it, there's a lot of internal friction, let's say. Maybe like you needed to work out a lot or always stay busy and always just you just can't sit still. So there's this energy where it's actually nourishing for you to beat yourself up with work. Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
that
So
is
there's
true.
that moon in Aries square Mars happening.
That is so spot on with me.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And that's so, we might think of like harmonious positions as good or what we want, but actually not necessarily because we don't want something that's really greased to be happening all the time, whereas something that creates friction might be very productive and helpful. It can go either way.
Hmm.
Okay, Monique, let's talk about Jupiter.
Yeah.
You had a question about Jupiter. Okay.
Why
Now,
do I always like feel so aligned with Jupiter? Like that's my planet.
all right. So Jupiter is in your second, is in your 12th house. Sorry. So this house of self undoing,
Mm-hmm.
this kind of cloistered monastic place of being forced into seclusion and experiencing the end of things and getting into like deep sort of, okay, what's next questions.
Mm-hmm.
That's where Jupiter is. Jupiter in those 10 degrees rules the first, that's the Four of Swords card.
Okay.
So you have the Four of Swords in your 12th house, if you want to think of it that way.
Okay.
Jupiter rules those 10 degrees. Jupiter's in conjunction with Saturn, who is exalted in Libra. So you have a ruling planet by degree, and you have an exalted or welcome planet by sign. So Saturn is the big boss there, and Jupiter is like kind of assisting, you
Mm-hmm.
might think, with the smaller things. Jupiter is good luck, expansiveness, generosity, everything that we want. Saturn is everything we don't want. Delays, restrictions, chronic illness and problems and
Mm-hmm.
but things that really take a long time to mature and are therefore best appreciated in the long run. Both of them are together. So you have like the yin and the yang together in a sense. In the same place in the 12th house of deep retreat and recreation of yourself. Jupiter rules your second house where your sun and Mercury live. So, in a sense, the solar light is in a place where it's not quite in charge of anything. And it sees by sign, the sun sees where the ruler of Sagittarius is. This is where it gets squirrely. So, Jupiter rules Sagittarius, and Jupiter, not exactly by degree, but close enough, can see what's going on in Sagittarius and lend a help to your second house, which is resources. So, good luck with resources, good luck with money
Mm-hmm.
coming in, good luck with your assets. That there is some help, like if you suddenly come into money or stuff when you need it in like this uncanny way, that's Jupiter
That's why I
helping
love
you out
Jupiter.
from
Because
Libra.
anytime
Right.
it's like, oh, we need some extra money, and boom, it appears.
Hmm. And Saturn is also there making that kind of quality real.
Mm.
It's like not this happy go lucky, reckless luck kind of
Mm-hmm.
thing. It's more like this sober luck that, okay, yeah, we can have luck, but if we prepare, we don't necessarily need luck in a crazy way. We can receive luck
Mm-hmm.
when it's appropriate. And proper preparation makes meets for success or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So both energies are working in your 12th house in Libra where they are strong. And Libra is the marketplace, it's fairness, it's justice, it's the legal system.
Mm-hmm.
And the 12th house is also where Saturn rejoices. Saturn loves to do work in the 12th house.
Mm.
Also, the place of secret enemies. So, again, if you have both secret enemies, but good luck dealing with them. That's another way to interpret Jupiter and Saturn together in the 12th house, like backstabbers and
Yeah.
connivers, but then they just can't get through.
Yeah.
So there's that.
No, that's so cool because it almost feels like a happy-go-lucky, but it's like all the work I did at one point, and then it's almost like nothing's happening, nothing's happening, nothing's happening, and then I need something, and like, oh, look, something came from it.
Yeah.
And it's like,
That's,
yeah, it's like it was so long ago.
that's the uncanny quality of Jupiter and Saturn together. Like the conservatism, the restrictions, the delays, the sobriety, the naysaying, the pessimism, plus this random optimism, good luck, gregarious, good-natured, sort of expansive experience. So you got both. You got like the swirl there, the vanilla chocolate swirl
Yeah.
of that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, more Saturn than Jupiter, but hey, they're doing the work. Now, Alex, with your sun in Libra now, we can say that your sun sign, what's obvious to you and what guides you is in that realm also, 12th house. And so you kind of bring this solar, obvious, kind of conscious quality to that, where for Monique, it's more like happening with these outer planets that are just fate almost. Like, these ancient gods, Jupiter and Saturn, are dictating these things for you, Monique. Alex, for you, it's more conscious, what you see, what's visible to you, what's obvious to you, and what you apply yourself to. It's like what
Okay.
you're encountering as you're driving your life. Like, okay, these problems and these issues of being alone and being pulled away. And both of you have these 12th house kind of getting away from people energies going on, right? Go figure.
That's so
We
crazy.
moved out in the woods away from people.
That's so crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
And let's not forget, Monique, your moon sign is in Aquarius, fourth house. That's home. That's parental lineage. Your moon, your intuition is also working with Saturn and Jupiter. Your emotion body, your sense of nurture is also working with Libra, Saturn and Jupiter in Libra in the ideas of home, your current home, the literal home, your lineage. Now, your lineage could be your mom, it could be your dad, depending on who the stronger parent was to you. Traditionally, it's dad. I don't want to make too much of a big deal about it. Just that your like your intuition, your chart ruler works very naturally with that energy in Libra to bring that sobriety, but also that good luck into your home.
Damn, you hit it again.
And okay, I redeemed myself a little bit. I think, yeah, I feel it. I feel it closing now.
I feel like, and not to say, like, I feel like both sides of my family, on my mom and my dad's side, are very magical, we'll say. My dad, he's the one, like me, animals are drawn to, that kind of more psychic energy. And I feel like it's more on my dad's side of the family. Whereas my mom's side of the family, it's different. Like, it's there, it's just different. But yeah, 100%, you're nailing it.
Okay. Well, I had your chart right the whole time, for the record.
That helps.
And I had Alex's chart mostly right the whole time. But
right.
once we locked it in, then the rest kind of fit better, right?
Yeah.
So it's almost like an experiment in the sense of what could be like a bad reading or like the kind of off reading. And then you get the time correct and it's like, oh yeah, okay, there we go.
Yeah. It's amazing how just like accurate it is. Like, wow.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
And I'm not pulling canned meanings. I literally was feeling stuff and I can't put it into words, but Monique, you know what that's like.
Oh,
Probably. It's
100%.
just like there's just a pressure to get it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so awesome.
That is so cool.
wow.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank
You're
you so
welcome. My
much.
pleasure. And yeah, we spent a good hour and 15 minutes on that. But I'm good to talk about whatever else you want to. I'm
It's
good to go.
amazing.
Okay. Well, since you did our charts,
Yes.
I pulled a dragon card for you. And look at that.
Nice.
He's got a
Honor
dragon.
of dragons.
That's
I
awesome.
love it. I love it so much. So I pulled a dragon card for you. So I have a dragon oracle deck. And when I asked which dragon is working to connect with you right now,
Okay.
meaning who wants to connect with you. And I'm going to show you the card. It's the Golden Atlantean Dragon.
Wow. Right on.
So this dragon, and for everyone listening on the card, it's this beautiful dragon, and there's this quartz, this big quartz crystal kind of around her tail. And the golden Atlantean dragon is a seventh dimensional dragon, and the seventh dimensional dragons, they're all about creating and manifesting, and they're also about bringing like knowledge and wisdom to people. These dragons hold the key codes for like the ancient Atlanteans. And what they do is they work with people to kind of help remove the veil of amnesia that, we kind of all get. Like we have this kind of deep inner knowing, but we forget a lot of it. And they remove that so you can essentially remember everything about yourself, your power, your wisdom, everything. And I feel like somebody like you has unlocked a lot already, but it's like she wants to, help you get more out of it. So what you can do is to connect with her. What she'll do is she'll breathe fire into your third eye and kind of help remove that veil and bring like an inner awakening about. And these dragons will stay with you as you're working on this with them. So what I recommend to people when they want to connect with their dragons is just talk with them. If you want to reach out to the golden Atlantean dragon and just, you don't even have to say it, just kind of think it, feel it, especially feel it. But just put it out there, trying to connect and just see what comes to you, because what I'm saying about this dragon might not be right for you exactly, but you're going to get your own message about what to do, what to feel, and just see, what feels right for you and if you're getting anything working with this dragon.
That's fascinating. Golden Atlantean, and she's female.
There's no specific, I get female energy from her. That's why it's just, it's weird. Like some dragons, and when I do, they don't really have male or female, but sometimes I think it's more of the energy. And I'll get one dragon for somebody and it'll feel more male, but I could get that same dragon for another person at another time and it could feel more female, or sometimes it's kind of in between. It depends on the person, but this one, it just feels female. So I'll show you again.
Fascinating. Yeah. So it's like, and you said quartz. So is there anything involved like material wise in trying to contact this dragon, like crystals, or just meditation and
you don't
putting it out
need,
there?
you don't need anything. Yeah. Quartz will help amplify for you, and you can try it because, it's believed the Atlanteans, they used crystals, with their power, but again, like we kind of mentioned last night when we were chatting, like the gatekeeping. Do you need crystals? No. Yeah. But it can help. It can kind of help you remember the power. And quartz, I think, it's piezoelectric. It has that kind of energy to it. So if you want to have some quartz around you to try to help boost it, you sure can. Is it necessary? I don't think so.
Okay, so this is just a basic like meditative sort of experience and asking,
and it's not even it doesn't even have to be meditative. Just kind of like be in a place that's quiet, relaxing, and allow you to get in touch with yourself.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let me ask a little bit, because so then what makes it? Because I know how to meditate.
Yeah.
And I used to meditate a lot. What makes it like a thing for a dragon? Like what specifies the meditation or whatever that quiet, reflective place is as attuning to a dragon?
Just wanting to connect.
Just the intention.
Just set your intention. Okay. Yeah. I mean, that's really it for anything that I've noticed for myself. Right. And when I recommend to other people, typically it works for them. And again, I've said before, what works for one person might not for somebody else, but that's like kind of my start point. So for sure, like just kind of sit quietly. So because what happens is if you have a lot of distractions going on, it's easy to not be able to focus. So, for anybody listening, so just be somewhere where you can kind of have that time for yourself and feel into yourself and, just kind of put out that intention that you want to connect.
Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds really. I am intrigued by this whole dragon thing. I didn't even know it was a thing until a few weeks ago when I listened to you and Jen Holtz talking about them.
Really?
And Jen and Jennifer Holtz is saying dragons, dragons. I see them, and Monique sees them, and no one else. I'm like, what are they talking about? Dragons? Oh my God, there's dragons. I'm like, so I feel like half of me is like, I guess, someone who's just not into this stuff, and the other half is like, of course. So that other half was like, wait, there's dragons?
I'm like that too when it comes to that stuff. I'm the exact same way. I'm like, what? Okay. I'm the exact same
Yeah.
way when it comes to
And
that.
Alex is so supportive of me. I mentioned it last night on Substack, but for me to you have to let your crazy out, in little bits when you're in a relationship. And he was so supportive of hey, so I used to read tarot cards and I want to get back into it. Are you cool with that? And yeah, 100%. Just
whatever you wanna
everything.
do.
And
100%,
then
of
the
course.
more, I started doing, work on myself, and the more I got from my meditations and the messages that I got, and it was just like, wow. And most people hear that and they're like, you're crazy. You realize that. I'm like, the dragons, they're here. They show themselves.
Like, wait, how do we go from tarot cards to dragons?
Right?
That
And
was my question last night. Like, wait a second. Okay, so you couldn't do tarot for a while, then you started it, and the next thing you know, there's dragons. It's like, wow, okay, that's amazing.
well, because I started working more on myself, meditating. And again, we were talking with our friend Jessie, how going on walks can be a meditation.
Sure.
And I'll go walk in nature. I'm connecting with the animals, and you're feeling energy. You're more open to pick up things. When I make orgonite, I am barefoot on the ground, and I'm just in this meditative zone. And I'm working, but I'm meditating. And I notice so many times, more often than not, I'll just kind of look around for a moment, and I'll see animals coming towards me. Like a squirrel will be right up to me, or a bird will be close, or it's like a little bug who's crawling on me, just wanting to get close. And the moment I realize that I kind of come out of it, they leave. And it's just kind of like that pulling in. And so I think it's just something with the energy that people have. And when they're in that state, I think it just kind of everything or everyone else around can kind of be pulled to it, depending on that person, what their vibration is, and what they're attracting. So I think because it opens you up a bit. And once you kind of drop that conscious guard, you know what I mean? And you're in that meditative zone, because your brain, if you want to get scientific, it's your brain waves as well. You get in a theta state. So you're not asleep, but you're kind of in between a lot of times. And you can even be on the top end to, more conscious than less. But it's just the brainwave as well. And you're just kind of in this chill zone, and it allows things to come to you.
So anything that gets you to that state, it could be walking, it could be doing the dishes,
Yeah.
it could be doing laundry, it could
Yeah.
be sitting meditation,
Yeah.
it could be swimming, whatever kind of gets you there. And
Yeah.
then that opens you up to that, plus the intention of the dragon is like, boom, okay, cool.
And sometimes stuff comes to you in a weird way. You might not even realize it. It might be a feeling. It might be a thought that pops in your head, a voice that you hear. It might be your voice. It might be a different voice. It's different for everybody. We talked about the clairs, right?
Right.
And so everyone's different. It'll come to you however, and you can say come to me in a way I'll know, for sure. It might be a gut feeling, whatever will resonate with you for you to be okay, I feel like I'm getting something.
So one thing I can say is that my experiences of the clairs and stuff are pretty erratic, all over the place, and sometimes dramatic, sometimes subtle. There's no consistency to them, and I've just accepted this. As I read my chart, it's there.
Yeah.
I understand why. So it could come through many different doors, but I am primarily chakra-wise up here,
Yeah.
like third eye, throat, and I have to, like you said, when you said breathing fire to open the third eye, I'm like, okay, because of what happened with Neptune and transiting into fire signs and all the fire signs being activated now with what I've been talking about with Saturn in Aries, Neptune in Aries, Jupiter going into Leo, and then Black Moon in Sagittarius. So this is like all lighting up the fiery parts of my own chart and everyone else's chart, but everyone's chart's different.
Yeah.
So when you said fire breathing into your third eye, I'm like, oh shit, there's more, because I already had a bunch of third eye stuff that I didn't like, but I guess was necessary as part of the program. Okay, I will take that respectfully and try to work with it.
Awesome. And again, you don't
Thank
have
you.
to. You can do whatever
I'm
you want to
intrigued.
do.
Dragons are badass.
They
I mean,
are.
yeah, and I love the way you talked about how, the knights versus the dragons was a Western sort of spin to separate what is actually wholesome and
Yeah.
helpful, and make it like an us versus them sort of thing that belonged to the prevalent religion at the time.
Yeah.
I hadn't really thought of it that way or heard that take, so that was brilliant. Thank you.
That's just it. Okay, so when you're reading, you get those feelings, right? It's just
Yes.
things that that pop like inside, like in my mind, and it's like once I learned the truth, and again, that's my truth that I learned, right?
Right.
I learned that, and it was like, oh, it clicked, like, oh, I get it now. That makes sense.
I mean, because in the Asian cultures, dragons aren't evil or bad, right?
No.
And I think other like Indonesians or maybe Buddhists, they have like nagas, or like they're kind of like spirits that look like serpents,
Yeah.
right? And I had this channeler, very gifted channeler, spontaneously start telling me about my guides. And she said one of them, I mean, this wasn't a paid for thing. We were just kind of talking, and all of a sudden she just went into it. And she's like, I'm getting it. And I gave her permission. It was all legit and
Yeah.
kosher. And she said, one of your guides is this giant serpent that keeps going in and out of water, like kind of like an undulating sort of. And I said, is it a dragon? Well, kind of. It's like an Asian dragon, and it's green, and it goes in the water and out of the water. And it's like a protector. You can call it anytime you want. And I was like, that is real. I'm like, why would I have that kind of a spirit guide? It's kind of.
Okay,
was like,
I gotta get something. So we're just gonna hold on because
Sure.
I need to show you something.
This is fascinating. I'm just like, wow. Yeah. When she started with the dragon stuff and all that, like, I knew nothing about any of this stuff. But I was just always very, I guess, just open to learning about it. And I'll let you go ahead.
No, keep going because I gotta.
No, I was
gotta
just
get my headphones on.
I just the whole dragon thing. Yeah, it's a little weird at first because you're like, what?
Right.
Like, I thought that's all fantasy, right? But
So
too much stuff has happened. She said way too many things where I'm just like, there's obviously something to this. I don't personally get it,
Right.
but I believe it, but I don't get it.
a few months ago, we started watercoloring. I never considered myself artistic until I began making orgonite because I'm not good at drawing or painting. But my kids were doing an art club thing and we did watercolors and they liked it. So I went to the store and I got watercolor stuff and I thought, I'm going to do that for myself. So I did like some crows at first. And then I said, I'm just going to see what I get. I'm just going to paint something.
Right.
And this was what I painted. And I was
Wow.
like, what is this? And I got,
Yeah.
it's one of your guides.
That's wild. Oh my God. Oh my God.
So you're telling me about the serpent and it's a guide. And you're asking these questions. And I literally, like, this is what I
Yeah.
painted
is so
in
interesting.
similarity to, it was like a dragon, but it's not exactly a dragon.
Well, more like a sea serpent would be like undulating, but it's still dragon-like because it's huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know why, like when you said that, it just made me think of what I painted, like one of my guides.
This is why when stuff like this happens, I'm like, okay, there's obviously something. here.
It's uncanny.
It
It
is.
really is. Like the way things connect.
Yeah.
And I mean, listen, there's always going to be a part of me that can rationalize that away, right? There's always going to be a part of me but it's a part of me. It's not me. It's just an apparatus. It doesn't
Yeah.
have to function all the time in that way. There's other parts of me that can, like, that's real. That's a thing. And that literally is a thing. So that is so cool. That is so cool.
Isn't it?
Wow. Jeez.
But yeah.
Yeah.
But and that's why, again,
Well,
oh, go on.
No, I was just gonna say, like, we start as kids, maybe like just open to all this stuff, right? Because I know I had very weird experiences when I was a kid, and then probably why I was drawn to this stuff, and then that kind of like, I was joking with Jesse about this with guys, something turns on around puberty that quiets all that other stuff.
Yep.
Girls.
That's what I'm
It's like,
talking about.
hey, yeah.
Like, oh wow, that's more fun. Okay.
I saw last night Jesse was showing his weird
Or guys,
science.
depending on how you go.
Yeah.
No judgment.
But I was
just
going to
saying.
say, he had his weird science VHS with Kelly LeBrock. It's like, we know.
Right. Exactly. You know what we're talking
Yeah.
about. Right. And then so then you have to go through life, and I think our genes, our biology definitely is a factor. We're pushed to, like, I don't know, whatever the drive is to find a mate, to then provide, and hopefully be a good father and a caretaker and all that. And then maybe when that settles and gets into a groove, then the other stuff can kind of come back if you want it to, or if it's strong enough. I don't know what the equation is, right? But I guess maybe there is a gender difference, and that's why. I don't know. I'm totally speculating, just taking a wild guess. But for whatever reason, I think my point is that somehow women is more acceptable, or it's louder for them. I don't accept that only women can do something and only men can do something else. I don't buy that dichotomy. I think it's just a matter of preference and strength, maybe, or talent. I don't know. So anyway.
Yeah, we were still. I'm still just kind of dumbfounded by the whole
The painting.
and
Right,
what you were
so like-
saying.
Go ahead.
What comes to us, like when we were kids.
Yes,
And-
that's it.
Yeah, it kind of, and it's, with what you were saying, it kind of hits because I think, we grow up, so to speak, and we kind of forget even more. We get that amnesia, so to speak. And maybe for women, because, again, I think it's almost more acceptable for women to be more in tune with their intuition, for men to admit it. For men to be able to admit it.
Right, like you were saying with cops, maybe. Again,
we're
not
moms.
to be sexist, but most cops are males, et cetera. Okay.
Yeah, but like as a mom, you have that motherly intuition, protecting your kids, knowing if
Right.
something's wrong. Dads have it too,
Oh, absolutely.
but it's just the way things get twisted. So it doesn't matter how you're biologically born, male or female. Do you have that? I think we all do.
Yeah.
I think some are just more open to it than others. And it's almost like there's a door. And I think most of us have a door, even a little bit open, some more open than others. And as, we start getting older and society kind of helps close that door a bit. And some people have families that are like, oh no, these are your gifts, use it. And
Right.
it helps keep that door open. Some people are able to open that door whenever they're ready to. So for you had that door open and maybe it closed a little bit, never fully closed.
Yeah.
But you started opening it back up again. And
Right.
once you get that door, once it starts opening and you're doing the work to, feel into everything, get in touch with what you have, it makes it easier to open the door a little bit more until it's wide open. And I think sometimes some people don't want it too wide open because they're a little nervous about what that is. I remember for a long time being nervous about, with clairvoyance, I see things in my mind, but to physically see them, will I get freaked out? Will I see something that'll freak me out? And it's something where I was just like, I'm open to seeing things, but I hope I handle it well. if I do see something that
Yeah.
might freak me out.
We're also conditioned by like movies and TV shows about the, I guess, the sensational or like really drastic sort of like we expect it to be
Yeah.
terrifying in a way that a
Yeah.
movie might be, which is really designed to like jump, like, like a haunted house experience.
Yeah.
Sure.
That's designed to scare the crap out of you.
Yes.
But that's not how these things go down necessarily, you know.
Exactly. Because the other thing is not just what you're seeing, it's what you're feeling. So at least for me. So if I'm seeing something, it's not just the sight of something that might be
Right.
freaky. It's the feeling inside, because the feeling inside is like, oh, okay.
Right. Well, I talked about this with Jesse and Jen. I mean, one time I was just talking to someone and I saw something that I just could not believe. And it was superimposed from my third eye onto the person. It was as real as the person sitting there. And objectively, what I saw was fucking terrifying. And it saw me and it looked back at me. But inside, I wanted to laugh. I had to really just compose myself because it was terrifying. It was beautiful. And at the same time, it was a what the fuck moment.
Yeah.
Where I could laugh. And then it just, I wrote it down and I kept it on a piece of paper, folded in my backpack for years because I wanted to go back to it and solve it. Like I wanted to understand what it was, and I never did. It stands on its own as this unique, weird thing. Was this thing I saw attached to the person? Was it helping them? Was it harming them? Was it just there? I don't know. But it was beautiful, haunting, terrifying, funny, and after the fact, like, oh my God. Like if I were to make this into a comic strip, or it would be like Creepshow on fire.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's
Because
what I'm talking. Yeah.
that's happened to me too. Remember with Hellier,
Yeah.
one of the guys we were watching, and one of the guys, all of a sudden I saw, like you said, it was like superimposed on his face. And I was just like, what am I seeing?
Right.
Like,
Right.
am I seeing, like, I'm seeing, like, and I'm telling him, explaining it. And I'm just like, I probably sound like I'm freaking Looney Tunes right now.
Yeah.
But like, I know what I saw. And when you said like superimposed, it's like, yeah, I've gotten that before.
Like both were happening at the same time.
It was there,
One-
but it was,
Yeah.
yes.
And like one is happening in the third eye place, wherever that is. It's like extra dimensional. It's like holographic, but it's not physical like Alex and you sitting there. You know, it's not like that.
I think holographic is a good way. It was
happening
like
here
projecting,
somewhere.
but I'm seeing it. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's right. But I know it's here.
Yeah.
I know it's not in the chair. Right.
Exactly.
Like it's I can't explain it any other way. But it's as real as
Yes.
someone sitting there in the chair.
Yes. Because
And
it's
it's
like,
not a hallucination where I'm like, ah, no,
No.
it's like I'm fully rational and just like, am I really seeing this?
I was like,
That's so wow.
whoa.
Right.
Wait, whoa.
Yeah.
You know, like that was like my reaction, like, oh my gosh, like, what the heck? What's going on
Right.
here? And it was creepy. It was like weird,
Mm.
but it was also like, what am I seeing? Like, this is kind of cool.
It's all the things.
Yeah.
It's creepy. It's
Yes.
amazing. It's funny. It's like, oh my God, it's beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, and I'm not crazy. I swear I'm not crazy. But that's just like with seeing the dragons.
Right.
I look up in the sky and I see these dragons circling. Nobody else sees them. Right? Some people are like, I feel like strong energy. I feel really protected. Okay, you're feeling it. I'm seeing it. I know there's not physical dragons flying in the sky, but I can see them. They
Right.
show themselves to me. And when my eyes are wide open. And another funny thing is when I'll meditate, I often see eyes. And I'll know which eyes I want checking in on me. It could be my dragons, might be my guides, but then sometimes there'll be eyes and I'm like, you're not welcome here. And I don't know who it is, but I'm like, no, you're not here for
Yeah.
my height. You're trying to sneak in and look.
Right.
And so it's just like, and my eyes will be closed and I'll see that. But it's just how, again, the third eye, sometimes it's all kind of inside and then sometimes it projects out. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
that's a tricky thing with meditation. If like, it does, if you're just built that way, when some people close their eyes, they just start seeing stuff right away, or they start hearing stuff right away, and that could be un unwelcome or welcome. It could be uncomfortable or whatever, and it's not necessarily the point of meditation. And I want to just say, since we're talking about it, I
Yeah.
think meditation is a word like exercise.
Yeah.
It could mean so many different things,
Yeah.
right? Are you meditating to improve your focus? Are you meditating for like Buddhist reasons? Are you doing Hindu meditation? Because there are very specific types of meditation.
Yes.
Are you trying to contact a dragon? Are you trying to relax? Are you trying to like literally harm someone else? Because people do that. So it's like a way of using your consciousness. It's a way of using your attention. And that's like, I think it's limitless what you can do with it.
Yes.
It's the same way you can use your body in unlimited ways to do sports, to fight, to get healthy, to do yoga, whatever, right? It's too wide a field.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. Oh,
Yeah.
I love
this
these
is-
conversations. It's
Yeah,
so
these
fun.
are the best.
Yeah.
These are the best. I feel like we've gone forever.
We gotta definitely do this again.
Oh, for
sure.
sure.
Oh my
sure.
goodness. Yeah, wow.
Um,
So great.
it's a blast. It's a blast.
Is there anything, where can people find you, Sam?
Yeah.
Just tell everybody that's listening where they can find you, about your Substack, and anything else you want to talk about, plug.
Sure. Thank you. So yeah, it's just SkyGuy at Gmail, and SkyGuy readings at gmail.com, and same handle on Substack. I'm on the other socials, but I don't check them. So if you try to contact me, I don't get back to you, probably because I haven't logged in months.
Okay.
There you go.
And we'll have the
Other
links
than
up
that,
for
it's
everyone.
pretty much. Oh, appreciate that. Yeah. So I'm pretty easy to get to on Substack and email. I do respond. That's it. Very like straight up, very, very easy. And yeah, that's it. Thanks so much.
No, thank you. And if somebody wants to have an astrology reading with you, do you type something out for them? Do you do like a video conference, or like how's your format for that, for
It
those
would be
interested?
just like, it would be similar to what we did, and it would be a video, and they'd get a copy of the video. And we'd go for about probably 90 minutes on average.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
and
awesome.
And yeah, so yeah, that's like natal readings, or if they want to look at their future, we can look at their what are called time lords, so profections and solar returns. We can do all sorts of fun things with time, but caveat, if astrology could predict the future that reliably, there'd be just a few rich astrologers, and everyone else would be like, like gate kept from all that, just like everything else that makes a lot of money, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, because I want people to schedule with you because it's fun. I mean, if
Yeah.
all else, it's just so cool to hear stuff, because I do think there's a bit for people to kind of feel almost like egotistical to be like, oh, I want to learn about me, but it's so good because it helps you align with who you are inside, and sometimes why the way you are. You were hitting the nail on the head, and it made me feel like, wow, I feel a little more like understood.
Right.
I feel a little more like comfortable with, because, okay. And I don't think it's like an egotistical thing to want to learn about yourself.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
No, it's not. No, not at all. Because if we get it, if we hit the nail on the head, as you said, or like Jen Hote said brilliantly, it's like your user manual of yourself.
Yeah.
Right. So if you feel that the reading is correct, the next step is, from my point of view, how I work with this magically, is how do we use your chart as a syllabus to do planetary magic, to actually contact Mars or the moon or Venus or Jupiter, and actually work with them and invite them to, like, not invite them in like something like like a spirit take over me, but now how do we collaborate? Because let's say these are like impersonal forces that are willing to work with you, right? Why not? Because you can't change your chart, but you can definitely participate in it, and then do things like planetary remediation or like planetary charity, strengthen some things, work on problems, actually get guidance. Like, okay, teach me. I had this problem with you in my chart.
Yeah.
Teach me how to deal with this. Like, yeah, so you
That's
can do
awesome.
anything like that. Yeah, yeah.
And it's so, I love that you said that, because when you were saying a couple things, what popped in my head when you were talking about Mars with Alex, kind of like the sailor kind of, and I just felt, I just want to send Mars some love. I want to send Mars love.
Well, I
And
should say both of your charts are ruled by Mars because you're Scorpio risings, right? Mars is your chart rulers, both of you.
yeah, I wanted to send love.
He's just extra badass in Alex's. He's nicer to you, Monique, than he is to Alex.
But, and then the other thing with Jupiter and Saturn, I was like, I want to do something on my altar for them and just,
Okay.
give my appreciation and my respect. And so you're
Respect
saying,
is good.
yeah, I was like, I got that urge of like, I want to do that, and just give my love and my respect and my appreciation. And then now you're talking about this. I'm like, okay, so I'm not crazy thinking that, wanting to do that.
I
Not
just
at all.
remember growing up, I remember in the 80s when Ronald Reagan was president, and you'd always hear stories about Nancy Reagan having an astrologer
Yeah.
and how she would consult her astrologer for different things. And then I'd hear throughout the years that a lot of really wealthy billionaires have personal astrologers and numerologists that help them to make decisions, like business decisions and things like that. So anybody that's listening that thinks that this is just crazy stuff, not exactly. Not exactly. There's obviously something to all of this stuff, and it's fascinating. It's just so fascinating. And if you can do like what Sam does, or and comprehend this stuff and figure out how to use it to your advantage, or like you were saying, how to help you solve problems or whatever, just to navigate life.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
And
There are people using this stuff to, well, I'll just put it this way. A lot of people are using this stuff, not just astrology.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And that's something I wanted to bring up was like, the billionaires, they'll have their own astrologers. And I wanted to ask you, if some billionaire said, I want you to be my personal astrologer and I'll pay you X amount, and like, you knew you'd be good. Is that something you'd be interested in doing? Or are you like, no, I don't want to just be working with one person?
Do you know a billionaire or something that you want to?
No, I'm just curious.
I have to, yeah, I was going to say, are you,
Well, if I was a billionaire, I would hire you as my personal astrologer, and I'd make sure you were good.
that is an interesting question. And because you're asking, yes, but if the billionaire asks me, no.
So if I was a billionaire, you would come help me. I could pay you and you'd help me. So it depends on the
Really
person,
interesting-
maybe.
It's really an interesting question because once you're on retainer, then you're also, let's be honest, back in the day, right? So like I'm thinking of John Dee, the magician, and he worked with Edward Kelly, I think, who arguably was a scoundrel and a charlatan, but that's also magicians too. So, they kind of go hand in hand. And when you're someone like that, and a queen or a king is asking you for advice on like where to send galleons, and you get it wrong, I mean, your head's literally on the chopping block, right? And I don't think human nature has changed that much. So if Alex knows what I'm talking about,
Yeah.
you've got Mars in the place that tells you about that. So if a billionaire retains me and I make a mistake, I think I'm toast. So I think I'd rather just work with dragons and chill people like yourselves.
All right.
Well, if I become a billionaire, I'm hiring you.
Take me for the ride. I'll be your personal astrologer.
And then we're going to take your lovely missus and we're going to have you
cruise ship. I'll bring my family and
Yes, we're
yeah,
going
give
to
us a nice cabin.
yeah, we'll talk about like aliens and everything. It'll be great.
Oh my God, that's like I cannot wait to get more into that stuff.
We're going to
I never cared. I was like, whatever, aliens. I kind of laughed at it half the time, and I was trolling Jen. Poor Jen. I was trolling her so bad during the whole New Jersey drone thing. But if this turns out to be true, like she's gonna have the last laugh, and I'll just eat it. Whatever.
I feel like we're going to have to get something on video, with that, if that happens. Like, get her on video with her reaction, because I want to see that. It'll be great.
For sure. For sure.
Sam, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you so much.
Oh, Monique, Alex, my pleasure. You guys are great people. Keep on doing what you're doing. So it's really great to meet like-minded folks, because we're all anarchists, like I was saying.
Yeah.
So just to be able to just meet and talk and become friends online and talk about stuff that would put us, behind bars or worse, maybe a few decades ago.
Right?
It's great.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
It's awesome. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
That was such an incredible conversation. Wow.
That was a lot of fun.
And then we ended up talking afterwards for another hour and a half?
Another hour and a half, yeah. Yeah, I feel like we could talk to him for we probably could have kept talking.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
He's just a good person.
Yeah. Yeah, what a
very
good dude.
genuine, yes.
Yes.
Please go click the links, find him, book an astrology reading with him. He puts a lot of time into it. He loves what he does, and he wants to share that with other people. So, and you get so much. We got so much information, and he said he does a video. It's an hour and a half. That's so much more than what you get from a lot of people. So support good people,
Yeah, that's the best thing you could say right there. Support good people. And you get that, I get that feel. We talked about this the other day. I get a good feeling about people. I get a really good feeling about Sam.
Oh, for sure.
And just a good dude.
Yes.
Just the limited time that we spent with him, just talking, and just a really good guy.
And do a reading, not just because he's a good guy, but because the information he can give you can really help you, to learn more about yourself. And then, like he said, you can take steps on how to work with those planets, the celestials, and try to, make it work for you.
It's just kind of cool, just the things that he was, for me, specifically, just the things he was saying. It was just kind of, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, it's really trying to figure out the right way to say it. It was really, I guess, cool to see how that, the alignment of the sun and the moon and the different planets and stuff, how that kind of explains a lot about a person. I'm just it was amazing just how much that resonated with me, I guess is the best way of putting it. But,
for sure. It's very enlightening.
I hope you guys enjoyed
the
conversation as much as we did. And I'm looking forward to talking to Sam a lot more.
We will have him on again.
Absolutely.
And join Substack, because we're talking about, doing some Substack lives with him and with our friends. So definitely join in. It's way more chill. It's not like the doom scrolling of Twitter or anything. It's just you go, you find your likes, what you're into, and you get stuff, along that way. I do gardening, nature, that kind of stuff.
Trying to figure out the whole Substack thing. I'm trying to you're much more knowledgeable with it.
And I'm still limited with how much I go on.
It definitely seems like a much better place social media wise as far as that kind of stuff
for
goes.
Sure. So go on Substack, find him on there, go to his website, and
all the links
check
will be
out.
in the show notes,
It'll all be there, and check out the lives too. And if you like what you heard with Sam, that's another reason to join Substack, because he puts out these videos with the information and he breaks it down. He uses these great analogies, and I don't feel as dumb learning about astrology.
Yeah,
it feels more I can learn this.
Yeah, he puts it in very relatable terms. I feel is the best way of putting it. He's just very relatable to the way he explains things, and just awesome.
Absolutely.
All right, well, until next time, I am the Golden Greek, Alex Arion, been joined as always by my beautiful, lovely, gorgeous wife, Monique.
And you've been listening to the Homewrecker podcast. Many people are unaware just how much hypnotherapy can help them, or think it's only to help lose weight or quit smoking. But there is so much more hypnotherapy can do. It can help with stress, anxiety, insomnia, phobias, performance enhancement, connecting with your spirit guides and higher self. You can even discover past lives and your life between lives. Heal traumas, break habits, find your deepest truth, or just have fun discovering who you really are, all from the comfort of your home. I'm Monique Pliakis. I'm a certified hypnotherapist, and I want to help you. Schedule a free consult by going to www.innerstandingshypnosis.com. That's INNERSTANDINGSHYPNOSIS.com. Inner Standings Hypnosis. Find your power and ignite your inner light.